10 Magic cards rated day number 38, everybody. Hope that your Thursday's good. We are live on twitch.tv/SBMTGDev. Make sure you come over here and you can do this with us too, because I'm going to end up asking the audience to rate a card and all that. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So let's get into it. Let's uncard, everybody. It's an uncard to start things off. Let's F11 our browser, just for courtesy's sake. Can you guys see the prices? Yes, in fact you can. That's I'm not even going to read it. Crumbling Necropolis. We've already done this card. We started with 2 cards. We just can't do. Master Splicer. Master Splinter right here is 4 mana, 3 and a white for a 1/1 Phyrexian Human Artificer. When it ETBs, you create a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact. Creature token. Golems you control get +1/+1. Originally printed in New Phyrexia. And yeah, Core Set 2020. I seem to remember that more, right? But I always thought this card was great in limited. Although, I guess changelings, everybody, right? You always have to say changelings, Dev, but I guess there's also like actual golems. There's probably enough golems to make this sort of work in Commander. Maybe, probably, but still, this isn't great. I think we can all be in agreement that this isn't incredible, but it does create 4/4 in power toughness on 2 bodies. Actually, it creates 5/5 in power toughness across 2 bodies for 4 mana. So like, okay, it's not terrible. Begging to be blinked. Yeah, it absolutely is. You could blink the crap out of this all day and it would actually be kind of profitable. I don't know, like pseudo commander playable, like depending, right? So, but again, that depending is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. So I'm actually going to give this like a 4.73, like it's cusping. It's cusping me right now, as a matter of fact. Let's move on to something else. Let me get out of here. Lonesome Unicorn is 5 mana, 4 and a white for a 3/3 unicorn with vigilance, but it's also got an adventure. Rider in Need is 2 mana and a white for a sorcery. So 3 mana for sorcery. Create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. What incredible flavor this is, actually. Well, 8 mana for 5/5 stats, 2 bodies. That's pretty bad, but I do like the art, and I really, really like the flavor, like a lot. Really interesting too. I guess not every knight would be able to ride a unicorn. I contest. So this is, and by the way, you don't just get 5/5 in stats on 2 bodies. You get vigilance on both. And like, I don't know. I'll give this a 3.9. I'll give it a 3.9. Somewhere in there. Just because, like, it's too... Adventures are just good. Can I just say that? Adventures are just kind of good. We'll move on to... it's Rhea Dawnbringer, baby. Let's go to Invasion. Let's go all the way back. Let's put on that Bobby Womack, because I want to go way back. 9 mana for this card, man. 6 and 3 white for a 4/6 Angel Legend with flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Come on, man. It's so good, dude. I don't know if anybody plays this anymore in Commander. I haven't seen this in Commander in like a good long time, but it does kind of seem like one of those, if you're reanimating things, this is just a thing you're always going to play if you have access to white, like no matter what. So yeah, dude, you got to respect Rhea. Yes, somebody in chat, Lord Baya's top 10 angel. You're like, yeah, maybe. I mean, we got a lot of really good angels now. We have a lot of very, very good angels in Magic the Gathering, but I just don't want to live in a world where Rhea Dawnbringer's been pushed out of the top 10 angels, This used to be a really, really popular Commander piece, and it was a really popular casual piece, like way, way back in the day. I remember when this card first came out. What's funny is it was right when one of my buddies moved out of his house and into his own like little place for the first time. We played a lot of Magic. And the set that came out right around that time was Invasion. He had a lot of Invasion. And this card was huge, dude. Like this card was enormous in like the kitchen table meta at the very least. So really, really cool. Got a lot of, memories with Rhea Dawnbringer. And I still think she's probably playable in a very reanimator focused sort of Commander deck. So I'm going to give this a 6. I bet Chad is begging to to rate this card. I'm going to give this card a 6.94. 6.94. Let's say that. I think that's fair. Miss you, Rhea. Next is Echoing Calm. 2 mana 1 and a white for an instant. Destroy target enchantment and all other enchantments with the same name as that enchantment. Only ever printed in Darksteel. Actually, kind of cool effects, you know. The other bounce spell, I think, is a lot more famous than this one. I say the other bounce spell. The blue version, echoing whatever it's called, saw a lot of play in sideboards at the time because it just basically bounces all the tokens. It's this effect, but bounce all the creatures with the same name. So you would see that a good bit, but this, I don't think so. It seems like it's probably not that commander playable unless we get something super funky that likes to copy enchantments and it's the most played deck in Commander. It's probably not going to happen. So yeah, not super great, but still instant speed, destroy target enchantments, sometimes get a 2-for-1, you know, could be worse. So I'll give it a 4.9. It's not that bad. You know, enchantment removal's narrow, so slightly below average, but still, it's pretty good. Mountain is up next. We get Mountain more than any basic land. Why is that? All basic lands get a 5. This art is fine. I like that it's by Cliff Childs, and he drew a bunch of cliffs. It's cool. He got to do a mountain. Cliff got to do mountains. Makes perfect sense. We'll move on to Oh, God. That's a noise I don't think I've ever made. Even in situations you think I might make it. Cyclonic Rift. In case you need this tutorial, is 2 mana, 1 and a blue for an instant. Return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. You can overload this for 7 mana, 6 and a blue. You may cast this spell for its overload cost. If you do, change target in its text to each because you're evil. This card is... This is one of the top 10 commander cards. Is it not? It's definitely one of the top, 3 blue cards. 5? I'm stretching it here. It might actually be the most played blue card next to stuff you have to play, right? Counter spells and stuff like that. Card draw, right? But yeah, Cyclonic Rift is maybe one of the most infamous commander cards of all time. Whether we're talking casual like we normally do in the series or CEDH, we finally hit Cyclonic Rift. What is the $700 version? It's this boy. It's this serialized bad boy right here with the retro frame. That is sexy. That is pretty sexy. How much is the normal retro frame? $40. My God. That's still about as little as you're going to pay for the card, though. There's a $32 version in Commander Masters. There's a $32 version in Double Masters. So that's not bad. I bet that if you got one moderately played, you could get it for $20. I just bet. But yeah, Cyclonic Rift, baby. All right. All right, everybody. Usually I would reserve this for a hard card to rate, but I know you want it. Chat, rate this card. I'll give you about 30 seconds here while I'll take a quick sip and just kind of talk about Cyclonic Rift. I have seen this card wreck board states in the fairly limited amount of Commander games that I've played. I am especially adverse to this card because mostly I play LSL Core in Commander. I mean, I've got Dina, I've got Judith, but the majority of my Commander games are LSL Core. So this just, the thing is, it basically forces you to sacrifice your entire board state right then and there, and you're never ready to. You know what I mean? You're not ready to do that. It happens at instant speed, so it's during some random opponent's attack step or something. And you're just like, ah, crap, sack all my guys, I guess. And all my other stuff comes back to my hand. So that's mana that I have to spend again to play Phyrexian Reclamation and Sanguine Bond and all these other enchantments and stuff that my deck has to get set up to play, and it's going to take me 4 turns to do that, and by that time, the blue player is in control of the game. Cyclonic Rift is, there's a reason that it sees this much play, guys. All right, what do you guys have? Meme score, 1.5. Optimator says 9.2. Fizzinator says 0. Getting some meme scores here. GD says 9.8. Neurodrain says 9. Josh Gom says 9. Who that is? 8.5. Kringlebob, 9.1. Texas Twister, it's a 9er. Nacho, you said 9. 9 out of 10 from Boombox. Yeah, man. Blue board white, basically. Basically. For me, it's always been an 8 bare minimum, says Tony. Yeah, these are very good takes, guys. I think I'm going to go with... Anybody else want to jump in here? I might ask you to rate another card, right? Because Cyclonic Rift, I mean, that's just for fun. Everybody wants to rate this card. I'm surprised at the amount of 9s, which I do think is a good score on this, but I'm going to go slightly below that. My plan was 8.7 something, but actually you guys have convinced me it's closer to an 8.84, something like that. Cyclonic Rift is a boner of a card, dude. It's a ridiculous Magic card, guys. But let's move on to Synth Infiltrator here. Can we get a normal looking? No? Okay. So Synth Infiltrator is 5 mana, 3 and 2 blue for a 0/0 artifact creature. Synth. Improvise. Your artifacts can help you cast this spell. I've always loved the reminder text for improvise. Your artifacts can help you cast this spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1. You may have Synth Infiltrator enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it is a Synth artifact creature in addition to its other types. So it's a clone with improvise. It's a clone with convoke, except you're not tapping creatures, tapping artifact. Neat. This is pretty cool. Never seen this card in my life. So I paid no attention. Well, it's not that I paid no attention to Fallout, but I paid not enough, I guess, attention to Fallout. This is cool. I kind of like this. Yeah, great clone. Yeah, I think so too. Hi all the time, Monkey 420, my actual real life cousin Jason. How you doing? Thanks for your sub for 24 months. 2 years. 2 years. And you made the YouTube video too. It's pretty nice. Happy birthday. You're on YouTube. Hey Jason, hope you're having a good time, man. Improvise is a cool ability, and in Commander, it's pretty easy to have a few artifacts laying around. But even then, what is it? A 3 mana clone? 2 mana clone? I guess that's good. 2 mana clone's good. So I'm going to give this card a 5. It's just the coward's way out, as someone calls. I'm going to give this card a 5. I think that it's right there. Move on to Swamp. All basic lands get a 5. This art is good. Good job, Tim Nelson. I like the almost pagoda-y looking, but they're like mushrooms, right? Maybe they're little mushroom houses or something like that. They're very, very nice. I like that. I've never really noticed. I like the sort of fog, the swamp light effect going on too. Will-o'-the-wisps in the background. Very, very nice art. Panacea from Mercadian Masks. Only ever printed in Mercadian Masks, but not on the reserve list or anything. It just probably sucks. 4 mana for an artifact. You pay X, tap it. Prevent the next X damage that would be dealt to target creature or player this turn. Okay. Is it all right if I don't hate this? It's not a 5. It's not. I don't think it approaches a 5. But you got to have so much mana. You got to have so much mana. But I don't know, dude. Like maybe some kind of like Pillow Fort, Turbo Fog thing in Commander. Mostly Pillow Fort. Then suddenly, you're preventing like 5 damage a turn. That's 10 mana, Dev. 5 damage a turn is 10 mana. I don't know, dude. It's unique. I'm okay. It's it's from a set that I like that nobody else does. So it probably puts it ahead in my book. But I really can't give this more than like a 2.7 or something, That's not, in the 2s. Yeah, yep. So, yeah, not, I think it's fine. But I'll give it a 2.5. We'll go 2.5. We'll do that. Can we do that? I think we can. Taranika, a Crowan veteran here, is 3 mana. 5 mana? 3 mana, 1 and 2 white for a 3/3 legendary human soldier with vigilance. When Taranika attacks, untap another target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature has base power and toughness 4/4 and gains indestructible. It's pretty good, man. Always was good, but never really saw play in Standard. But I always liked Taranika, man. Just cool. Just decent stats, you got a little keyword ability. I guess that's fine, It's turns your 1/1s into 4/4s. Indestructible, let's go, Just a slightly better than average Magic card that sadly will like never ever see play, like no matter what. Just don't. Maybe an Ishin, right? Ishin, the thing that doubles up whenever you attack triggers. So, maybe a little Terra in there if you want to throw some. I don't know. It's definitely a fine Magic card. So I'm gonna give it a 5.18 and leave it at that. I don't think that it's like super super impressive in 2024, but I do think it's better than average. Most Magic cards are like drafty nothings, so it's fine. Move on to Hungry Links, though. Oh, I love Hungry Links. This is 2 mana. 1 on a green for a 2/2 cat. Cats you control have protection from rats. At the beginning of your end step, have we reviewed this card already? At the beginning of your end step, target opponent creates a 1/1 black rat creature token with Death Touch. Whenever a rat dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each cat that you control. I don't think we reviewed this card. I think I've just like looked at it recently. Big fan. Big fan. It's in Cat Cube. Which is kind of why I think we may have reviewed it already, is because I think that I've recently seen this card in context of the Cat Cube, which will come out probably like 2 years from now. We're putting it together like bit by bit. There's a surprising number of expensive cards in Cat Cube. But in any case, this is a cool little thing, man. 2 mana 2/2 that, you know, make sure that just because you're giving your opponents rats doesn't mean that you're like falling behind on board state, because all your cats have pro rats. If they do swing into you, then suddenly your cats get large, you know, including this thing. So big fan of Hungry Lynx. I don't think it's amazing. I think that it is probably like a 5.5. You know, it's not incredible. It's really not. But it is a fun Magic card in like one very specific deck. So I'll go 5.5. I've got some love for Hungry Lynx. Final card. It makes me hungry for Lynx. Want some hot dogs, you know? But moving on. Final card of the day is Blazing Root Walla, everybody. Let's look at it from Modern Horizons. A single red mana for a 1/1 lizard. It also has Madness 0. That's important. For a single red mana, Blazing Root Walla gets +2/+0 till end of turn. Activate only once each turn. So a take on Basking Root Walla. From the first Madness set, but you could also Madness in for 0, and was a very important part of Madness decks back in the day. Baby, but I'm not sure what this ever did. So maybe the time had passed it by the time it got printed, but it's still a good card, man. A creature you can get for 0 mana is probably really, really good a lot of the time. So just gonna like this every time I see it. Sorry, I like free creatures. But how good is, what is it? It's not Memnite. Is it Memnite? There's like a 0 mana 1/1 creature that's an artifact creature. And does it see all the play in the world? And like that, you don't even have to like do shenanigans to get into play on turn 1. You just play it. Is it worth the card in your hand? I don't know. So I don't know, man. I probably, in 2024, I shouldn't rate this too highly, but I'm still going to give it like a 5.02. I have respect for 0 mana creatures that'll get you on the board real quick and all that while you're doing other stuff. So I liked it, everybody. Hope you guys liked it. You guys have fun. Chat was a good time. You have 5.02 solid. It's a solid. It's not the worst card ever. It really isn't. I think that this is, you know, free creature is probably slightly better than average, especially when it can hit for 3. It can hit for 3. Let's go. It's kind of all right. That said, you have to get it to do that, you have to pay its casting cost. It's like, what's the point of it being free then? I don't know. I'm not going back on it. 5.02. Let's go. But if you're watching on YouTube, that is the video. I hope your Friday goes well. I'll see you then. Bye.